Com. Back on the radio with you, on the air and everywhere, from the community to the world. It's the Jesse T Show, live at 5, straight on the point. You are now entering the world according to Torero. Yes, I feel like a preacher man here on a Fun Time Friday afternoon. We're going to have a great show today because we're going to help you get well. The weekend is on its way, and I know everybody wants to feel good. So I thought I'd look into some, organic, some natural remedies, some natural healing things for some of our most outrageous diseases. And we'll toss them out at you. You can do your own research and homework on this. And maybe it will help the situation out for a loved one or yourself. But, I'm always curious about Western medicine versus ancient medicine, medicine from antiquity, medicine that the ancients used to use. They didn't have all these fancy biopharmaceutical companies mixing all these fancy kind of drugs and creating these fancy kind of elixirs that we have here in our modern society. That what they had is they had water, they had air, they had organic material, they had plants, they had these types of things that allowed them to heal themselves over tens of thousands of years. So I thought, I thought what I would do is I would talk a little bit about some of these remedies that maybe Western science and Western medicine just doesn't look at with that much interest. But we are noticing in the last 20 years or so, we are noticing that Western medicine is starting to incorporate more and more of Eastern philosophy and medicines from the ancient world, and medicines from our Native Americans, and medicines from Central America and the Amazon, as we find new plants and new herbs. So we are starting to notice that that's seeping into our Western medicine more and more and more, which I think is a fantastic thing. So today I thought we would kind of jump into that a little bit. Where we're located here, you can see the beautiful blue skies here in southern sunny California. And where we're located right now, just to the right of me and the left of you on the screen, is the Los Angeles Zoo. And the LA Zoo is one of the finest zoos in the world. And if you've never been to Los Angeles, as we communicate around the world from the community to the world, if you've never been to Los Angeles, you've got to visit the LA Zoo. So what we like to try to do always is get out and around, kind of show you different things and different locations, and get to the LA Zoo. It's really a terrific place to take your family and enjoy yourself. I've been going there for years, and it's gotten bigger and better, and the exhibits have gotten better and more natural for the animals. They're very conscientious about taking care of the animals here at the LA Zoo. It used to be a lot more crowded with different types of animals, and what they've done is they've alleviated the overcrowdedness of the cages and the habitats. They call them habitats now for the animals, so that they can have more range and more freedom to move around a little bit more. So it's a terrific environment, the LA County Zoo. And we're right here. Just to the right of me, or the left of me and the right of you, is the Gene Autry Museum. And the Gene Autry Museum is got to be one of the finest Western museums in all of America. There is a museum that's actually much better. The best Western museum in the world is in Cody, Wyoming. And Cody, Wyoming is named after wild Buffalo Bill Cody. And so there are 5 museums there. They're so huge that they have a museum for the Native Americans. Then they have a museum just for ammunition and guns. And it is a massive museum. Then they have a museum there that is for archaeology. And then they have a museum there about what happened to the West and in the migration of Western Europeans or Americans coming across the plains, and railroads and everything. It's just Cody, Wyoming. If you ever get to that chance to go check that out. But if you don't get the chance to go there and you want to see a quality, one of the best museums ever, the Gene Autry Western Museum here at Griffith Park at LA Zoo. And the interesting thing about Griffith Park is that it was owned by a man named Griffith. D.W. Griffith, I think his name was, if my memory is correct on that. This was his backyard, 6,000 acres of land Well, and when you look in Hollywood and you look up at the Hollywood sign, so if you happen to catch something on TV tonight, wherever you may be, or something in a magazine or a book or online where you see the Hollywood sign, that was Griffith Park at one time. All of Los Feliz, that area that they built all the houses in just below the Hollywood sign, that was part of G.W. Griffith's backyard, essentially. This was his ranch. And it was an amazing ranch, and he lived his whole life in and around this ranch with mountains and mountain lions. And in fact, at one time there was some bear up here a long time ago, but all flowing fresh water. They have some natural springs up here that they've tapped off now into our water system here in Los Angeles. But it is a beautiful area of trails and hiking, and Mount Hollywood behind us, and all of that. And Warner Brothers Back Ranch, which now has turned into Forest Lawn, a cemetery, one of the big cemeteries here in Southern California. That was all known as Griffith Park or D.W. Griffith's Ranch. And when he passed away in his will, he dedicated and gave this ranch to the city of Los Angeles as a park inside the city. It is the largest park inside any metropolitan city in the United States of America. It is absolutely massive and beautiful. So 3 areas here to kind of check out if you ever get to LA, and I hope you do. It's a beautiful place to visit and come hang out for a while. So much to do. And it is a Friday night in Southern California. And on the East Coast, it's already nighttime. They're getting ready to get out and party in New York City and Philadelphia and Boston and all those great places. And Chicago's about an hour, 2 hours ahead of us. But right here on the West Coast, we're just starting to get home now. People getting off of work, the freeway's getting crowded. But a lot of good things happen on the weekends here. And in fact, yes, I am now no longer a boy without a barber. In fact, I got my hair cut. And if you look at my post up on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, you will see Bailey, the world's greatest barber that I just found brand new. And I like her a lot. And she's 21 years old. And she's such a cutie pie. But she comes from a family of barbers and stylists that go back several generations. So she is a barber, and she bought her own business, a business that I had been going to for about 25 years. The lady sold her barbershop business to Bailey, and she bought this business, 21 years old, and it's growing already after the first year. So I finally broke down.
You actually should go get your money back.
Oh man, you know you love my hair, brother. You know it's beautiful. Look at that, man.
It looks like it looks like a bad mohawk.
Just because I have hair, and some people I know are losing their hair.
Mine is gone.
Hey, Michaels.
My hair is packed up and left the building.
Yeah, the widow peak is growing on Lee Michaels. It is growing. That's right.
Gone.
That's his Italian blood coming in there. See, all Italians have a widow peak like this, right? That's called a widow's peak. And you always know an Italian guy, if his hair is receding, is like this. See, my hair isn't receding. It's not receding, Lee Michaels.
She should have taken a little more off the top.
No. I like it like this because sometimes I like to go back like this. You see, I like to put it back like that and take the part out, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes I like to go this way, like this, right? Because I want to be that handed. And sometimes I like to go like this, right?
Never like go this. Like that. Never.
Right. I could be like a surfer boy, right?
No, never go like that. No.
Right?
No.
Do you like my haircut? She likes my haircut, and she works here at the Gene Autry Great Western Museum. So there you go. I take a woman's appreciation over a man's appreciation any day of the week.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
We'll see. I just thought I'd add my little 2 cents in there.
Just like I'm going to win $200 from you when Trump becomes president, huh?
Yeah. Fat chance.
Yeah. You want to double that up?
Double down, baby.
You want to double down, huh?
Y'all hear it?
You want to double down?
Yeah, I'll take $400 out of your pocket. No question. There's no clear path to winning for your boy.
Well, there's no clear path for whoever you're going to vote for because there's only going to be one of the 3 others.
It looks like the state of Texas may go blue since what? Johnson?
It looks like Mexico wants to eliminate the Treaty of Guadalupe, which gave us Arizona, New Mexico, Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, and California.
Well, give it back to him.
Are you crazy? I don't want to be a Mexican. I'm already Mexican. Why do I want to be a Mexican? I'm Mexican already. I don't need any more Mexican in me. I'm already, I got that Spanish blood flowing through me already.
Well, it's not going to change anything.
I got that upper class Spanish blood, that aristocratic Spanish blood, that from España. I'm Spanish, a Spaniard. That's right.
Hoity-toity.
Yeah. Spaniard, hoity-toity. That's right, a hoity-toity Spaniard. That's what I am. And I'm not a Spaniel, not a Cocker Spaniel. I'm a Spaniard. And a little bit of Mexican, and a little bit of Italian, and a little bit of Scottish, and a little bit of Irish, and a little bit of French, and a little bit of German. Maybe that's why I just don't know what I'm doing half the time. Because I'm just so confused.
You're a mutt.
I am sort of a mutt, aren't I?
We all are.
But you got to admit, I'm a handsome-looking mutt.
Well,
especially with my new haircut. Oh, yes. Look at that. Woo, baby. We should be playing some Bee Gee music in the background Saturday night, live. That's right.
Are you standing like in your doorway? Is that your car door behind you?
Yeah, this is the Gray Ghost, man. This is the Gray Ghost. I'm standing in the doorway. You know why?
Because you want to be outside.
I tell you something. That American education did great for you, Mr. Michaels. You graduated cum laude ba, whatever that means.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's like magna cum laude chamala majibi, you know.
Yep.
Start speaking that Latin up there. Forget it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. All right. So listen, don't forget about us, and get that free app that we've got going on. See, on Friday we kind of let our hair down, or we get nice haircuts, like the Brown Beauty on Duty. Yes, on Friday we kind of get wild and free, and we just do what we want to, and just kind of hang out and just make complete fools of ourselves. That's what we do. That's right, on Friday. Hey, get the free app, download it. It's free. It's a free app. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Free. No money, no cost. It's free. 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 It's free, and you get it for Apple and you get it for Android. You put it on your smartphone, and that way you can check out all the other programs other than mine. That's right. Check them all out. We got about 70 programs, and we broadcast 24/7 on a global radio network, covering all of God's blue, green earth. You can catch us anywhere. You can even catch us in. I bet you President Putin is listening to us right now. Yes, I bet he is. You can even hear us in Russia. You could hear us in Alaska. You could hear us in Mexico. You could hear us in North Dakota. You can hear us in your kitchen. You could hear us in your car. You could hear us on all your IPTV devices everywhere, because we're on the air and everywhere. So get that free download and make that happen. And we will certainly provide you with some great programming here as we cover all the great topics. A lot of good stuff, too. All right. And don't forget to check out the Jesse T Show every Monday through Friday right here from 5 to 6. So, okay. So let's get into talking about some of these different cures. And, I'll tell you a little story about myself here. And about, 6 years ago, in 2010, I ended up in the hospital, and basically I was dead. The doctors, when I came into ER, my blood glucose was like 500, almost 500. I was having a hard time breathing, and so that's what brought me into the hospital, was the breathing aspect. So they immediately admitted me, and they hit me with a insulin mixture that put me almost into a coma. The next thing was a coma. I was in what's called insulin rejection shock. Um, I had never taken insulin before, but they thought that I was diabetic. And so, because my blood sugar, even though I tried telling them that I had been drinking gallons of orange juice and cranberry juice and apple juice and all these juices to drain my system, because I thought I was catching a virus, like maybe a pneumonia virus or something like that. And for months before, I was trying to get rid of that out of your system, wash your system out. And so I was sugar heavy, sugar loaded. And they didn't believe me or whatever, and they just did what they wanted to do in the ER. And they hit me with this insulin concoction. And literally within 20 minutes, I was shaking on the bed. Like when you watch those fishing programs, the real tuna and those most dangerous ship in the world, when they go out into the Bering Strait and they fight, all those different programs where they grab those big fish like tuna, and they bring it on the boat, and it shakes and wiggles on the back of the boat because it gets yanked out of its normal environment of living. And that's how I was. I was shaking in the bed like that, and just flopping around like a fish, literally a 237-pound fish flopping around in the bed in the emergency room. And so I almost went into a coma. I almost went unconscious. My heart was beating a gajillion miles an hour. I was having a hard time breathing, and this insulin had a very bad effect on me, which I should not have gotten, but they did it anyway. And so they admitted me into the hospital, and there I sat for 4 weeks. 4 weeks, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and could not figure it all. In fact, in the third week of my 4-week stay in the hospital, the doctor came over. We had one of the finest internists here in Los Angeles, and the doctor came over. Basically, my father was there with me, and the doctor came in my room. He said, "Well, Mrs. Torero, there's nothing more we can do for you. We've done everything. We've done every test we did." And believe me, they stuck things. They stuck long needles like 10 inches long into my abdomen. They stuck into my hip to get my bone marrow out. They stuck. I had CAT scans, all the scans. Everything that they could do, I did in a really great hospital, St. Joseph's Medical Center in Burbank. And so no one could figure out what was wrong with me. And so I remember my father had said, "Well, what kind of medicine?" They changed my medicine a couple, 2 or 3 times. It wasn't working. And my father said, "Well, what medicine are we using now?" And the doctor talked to us about it. And I could hardly talk at the time. And so the doctor said, "Well, this is the strongest medicine we have that's on the market." And so my dad said, "Well, why don't you just double the dose?" And I yelled out, "Triple the dose." So the doctor walked out of the room, kind of looked around the hall a little bit, kind of a kooky doctor, had some strange idiosyncrasies and behaviors, sort of like a doctor whose head's going, sort of like Stevie Wonder. When you see Stevie Wonder perform and you see his head moving, that movement that Stevie does with his head while he's playing piano or singing, that's sort of the doctor and his head and shoulder movement. That's what his body was like moving like. So he popped back into the room and he said, "That's what I'm going to do." So he tripled the dose on me, and within days, it started working. So I was very fortunate. Then after a couple of days, the doctor came in and he said, "I've never done that. I've never tripled the dose on anybody with this medicine. It was very dangerous to do that, but it worked." And realistically, he said, when you came in this hospital at 49, 50 years old, guys that have a 5-organ shutdown happening like I was having a 5-organ shutdown at that moment, 5 organs internally were shutting down. He said, we can treat 1 or 2 organs that are shutting down at the same time in human beings. But when there's 3 or more organs that are shutting down at the same time, cascading down like an avalanche, usually the person dies. So you really were a dead man walking when you came into this hospital. And really, you shouldn't be going out standing up. You should be going out laying down. What he meant, obviously, I should have been a dead man. But because I never toxified my body over the years, I never took drugs, I never drank, I never smoked. I've always kept a pretty much a toxic-free life and a stressful-free life. I was able, and I've kept fit my whole life and lived a pretty good life in terms of the food and the water that I've eaten. I was able to survive through it. And with my martial arts Wing Chun training, my meditation, my Qi, all of that, we were able to survive through it. Now, I tell you that story because it's a lead in to what I want to talk about today. As I got out of the hospital, one of my friends, a very good buddy of mine, Jeff Gill, you've heard me speak about him a couple of times, old radio buddy of mine. We go back a ton of years, decades. We worked for Stevie Wonder together at KGLH. And we've done a lot of stuff in terms of some music videos and producing music together and real estate and stuff. So he happened to call me because I didn't really tell anybody I was in the hospital. I just didn't want to. He happened to call me and check in, see what's up. And I told him what happened. He said, "You got to start drinking alkaline water." Now here goes our talk about alternative methods to keep yourself healthy. And I said, "What's alkaline water?" I never drank. I would never drink tap water because it's filled full of toxins like fluoride and all kinds of toxins to disinfect the water as it travels through the pipes in a city. But he said, no, the alkaline water is the same type of balanced pH water when you're born. You're born pH perfect because you come from the womb, you come from your mother, and you come out perfect, unless, of course, your mom was a heroin addict or something like that during the pregnancy. But if your mother was normally healthy, the body of your mother protects you as a baby growing. And you come out pH perfect, no toxins in your body at all. And since our bodies are made of 95% water or more, 97% water, everything that we see solid on our bodies, our skin, our hair, our eyes, it's actually all water-based. And if you take the water out of it, it disintegrates into dust. So that's why they say ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and we go back to the Mother Earth, because our bodies disintegrate without water. It's the water that keeps us functioning and keeps us together. And if you ingest nothing but bad water or toxic water your whole life, not to say you're going to go drink water with toxins and, hey, give me that toxic water. I want to get that chlorine bleach water at the bar. No, it's not that. It's we don't know the toxins that we're taking in. Tap water is filled full of toxins, like I said, for the disinfecting process they have to go through when they bring it to a city. They have to basically kill the water. They make it almost distilled. The water comes to the city living. That's why there's fish in like the California aqueduct system. There's fish in the Owens River Valley pipeline that comes to Los Angeles. There's fish in these giant reservoirs, and there's life in that water still. But when they process that water and they send it downline to our homes and businesses, the water is dead. There's nothing really living in the water. Okay, so it's filled full of toxins as well. So we ingest that our whole lives. Plus we ingest liquor, we ingest sugary drinks, we ingest all kinds of liquid substances that go into the cell structure of your body, the small, minute cell structure. The cell is built out of a lot of things, oxygen and blood and water. It's the water. The water is so important. And so when your cells are filled full of bad water, that means your body is filled full of bad water. And when that takes place, that means your body becomes toxified. And you basically are killing your body as you're drinking a glass of water. So a lot of people say, well, I'm going to go to 7-Eleven or Circle K or my local liquor store, my local convenience store, and I'm going to get this water in a bottle. Or I'm going to have Sparklets or whatever deliver the water. Or I'm going to go to the health food store. I'm going to buy healthy water, safe water. That's dead water. It's nothing. There's nothing in that water that's going to do anything for you. It might be a little better because that water usually has to be graded here in California. It has to go through a 3-filter process. Okay, the water has to go through 3 filters. Basically, it filters everything out that's good. So here we go. We're drinking dead water, even out of a plastic bottle or a glass bottle. So you think you're getting good water, but you're not. So as I did my research and Jeff told me about alkaline water, he brought me over a 5-gallon jug that night, the night I got home from the hospital, of alkaline water. And this alkaline water, I immediately started drinking it. And I tell you folks, you know what happened? I have never been able to drink so much water in one sitting in my whole life. Now, I've been an athlete my whole life. I mean, I boxed, I wrestled, I played football, I played baseball, I swam, I was a field guy in the track and field. I've done heavy exertion, Spartan training, gladiator training, knife training, stick training. I've been an athlete and I've exerted lots of physical stress on my body to stay in shape over the years. And so I know about drinking water, dehydration, being hydrated properly and all that stuff. But let me say this. I took one drink of that alkaline water in that glass and I downed it so fast, it was unbelievable. Then I had to have another glass and then another glass. I drank like 6 glasses in a row of 8 to 10 ounce glasses of water. Now, granted, I had to go, to the bathroom, and that's what the alkaline water does. It makes you go to the bathroom. You get diarrhea and you have to urinate a lot because what's happening is you're releasing all the toxins in your body. That's what's happening, and it can only come out 2 ways, and it comes out. But then you start ingesting the good water, this alkaline water, at 8.5 pH or better. That's what it's got. Excuse me. That's what it's got to be at, 8.5 pH or better. And what happens is your body says, "Oh my goodness!" All of a sudden, it's getting great water for the first time in its life outside your mother's womb. It's an unbelievable process, and you feel the difference. And you start drinking this alkaline water religiously. You start feeling better. You have more pep in your step. Your eyes brighten up. Your skin gets better. Your hair, the ailments in you start healing themselves because remember, our body is made up of water. And if you give good water to your body starts healing itself. It's the better gasoline. It's the better mixture of quality liquid in you that allows your organs to start functioning and talking to each other in the right way, the way they naturally should have been way before we had all of these processed foods and processed water and processed drinks. So what will also happen after about a month of drinking alkaline water, you go to the restaurant and you'll get a glass of water, you'll spit it back out in the glass because it'll make your stomach turn. It tastes like you're drinking silver metal, like metal in the water. It tastes like you're drinking, like if you've ever put your tongue on the edge of a dead battery and you taste that, it's terrible. Your tap water is terrible. You go to 7-Eleven or your local market to get bottled water. After you drink about a month or so of alkaline water straight religiously, what happens is you get that bottled water, you taste it. It doesn't taste metally. I know that's a new word. Hey, Torero makes up his own language. It's a language according to Torero, okay? All right? Like coinkydink, which is coincidence, right? And humperdink, which is humperdink. Humperdink is humperdink, actually. There was a singer, Engelbert Humperdinck. That's right. Anyhow, the bottled water tastes dead. It has no taste at all. You really know the difference. So alkaline water is one of the first places to start in that respect. Thanks, Craig Powers. Yeah, man, I got a new haircut, and it's time. You know, I can't be having that long Wolfman style hair anymore. Though, you know, I do let it grow because I hate going to the barber. But anyhow, so the water is really important. Okay. The next thing that you have to get rid of is you got to get rid of eating meat. Okay, this is just my personal testimony. What made me well again, because I basically died almost, literally, 5 organs shut down in 2010. I should not be here on the Jesse T Show. I really should not be. I've had a second chance at life, literally. Thank God, I've had a second chance at life, and so you got to get rid of the meat. You got to end eating meat. Period. You got to end eating meat. Meat kills you. Period. Dead. Stop eating meat. Period. You've got to go. You can eat chicken and fish as long as you eat red fish, like salmon or trout. I believe it's red fish. You have to eat chicken and fish. That's cool. You can do that. Uh-oh. I think we lost something here. So let me double check here. Hold a second. I think I lost a whole bunch of people here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, let's see. Hold on one second. This is a Jesse T Show, you know. Now you can see the pretty green sky, blue skies and the green trees. I'm gonna grab this cord right here, and I'm gonna plug this in right here like this. And I think I'm gonna have to turn on the car. Can you turn on the car, Dan the man? Oh, you don't have the keys? Yeah, turn on the car, and we're gonna walk. I had one of my cameras go down. Hold on, be back with you in a second. Anyway, I'm gonna keep talking to you. So you gotta get rid of the meat. That's really, really, really important to get rid of the meat. Because the meat, it sets in your colon, and that's where all of the disease starts coming from and happening. And so in that respect, getting rid of the meat is real important. And that was the second thing that I had to do. Of course, thankfully, I had stopped eating meat about 20 years before I got sick. So I didn't have that problem too much to get rid of that meat. So now, the third thing you have to do is you got to get rid of the sugar. You got to get rid of the sugar in your diet. You get rid of the sugar in your diet, it'll take you about 4 weeks to break the habit, to want sugar and everything. Now, I am a sugaraholic. I got to tell you, I love sugar. And so just recently I decided no more sugar, had a physical, and my glucose was up a little too high. So I've eliminated the sugar out of my diet completely. Gone. I had a little piece of chocolate milk, little drink of chocolate milk, just one little swallow the other day. It tasted so good. I understand what an addict must be going through, because that chocolate milk, that sugar tasted so good. Oh my goodness. So you got to get rid of the sugar, because the sugar does nothing but harm your organs and harm your bloodstream, your liver, and your spleen. It does disastrous things to it. Even if you aren't diabetic, still have to get rid of the sugar, because it is hurting your inside organs. The next thing, for men, you got to keep your salt down to about 2,000 milligrams of salt a day. You don't need any more salt than that unless you're burning 6,000 calories a day, like you're Michael Phelps and you're a professional athlete like that. And then you're burning those kind of calories, then the salt is okay because you'll burn it off. But most men my age and most women my age, we really don't need as much salt in our bodies. That's the next thing. And lastly, you got to get rid of all the milk products. Get rid of the milk products. And guys, don't buy soy milk. Don't buy anything that has soy in it, because it has estrogen in it. And soy equals estrogen. And remember, estrogen is what females have. Testosterone is what males have. And you don't want to ingest estrogen into your body, guys, because then you'll probably go more transgender, and you won't look it. If you take too much estrogen in, you won't know which bathroom to use, and you have to stand there and kind of be confused. That's what it does. It'll confuse you, totally confuse you up. So don't drink soy. Nothing with soy, guys. Gotta stay away from that if you still want to be a man. Of course, they got I saw a place that had 3 bathrooms. 3 bathrooms. They had the boy bathroom, the girl bathroom, and then they had the she, he, she, transgender, transsexual, can't figure out what I am, bathroom thingamajig. I don't know. I don't know the statement that we're supposed to be saying, but you know what I'm talking about. And so I stood there and I looked at the 3 bathrooms. I had to go to the bathroom. And the manager came up to me. I was standing there for like 5 minutes. He came up to me and he said, "Excuse me, can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I don't know which bathroom to use." And he said, "Well, the men's bathroom is right there." And I said, "Well, the women's bathroom is right there." He said, "Yeah." I said, "But the bathroom right there in the middle is like, it's got this weird signal bathroom. I don't know what bathroom to use." He said, "Well, what are you?" I said, "Well, I don't know what bathroom to use." And he said, "Well, usually you use the bathroom that you've used your whole life." Now I'm having a conversation with the manager in this restaurant about which bathroom to use, right? And people are walking by. So I say to him, "Well, do you think you could help me?" And he said, "Well, sure, I can help you, sir." I said, "Do you think you could help me figure out which bathroom I should use? Because I'm really confused now. I don't know which to pick from. The women's bathroom, the men's bathroom, or the middle bathroom that can go like either way or one way or whichever way it goes." And he said, "Well," I said, "Can you kind of help me figure out what bathroom he said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, so help me." And he goes, "Okay, well, how do I help you?" I said, "Well," I kind of pointed down to my bathroom section of my body. And I said, "Can you help me figure out what I'm supposed to do with that now?" And he looked at me and he said, "You're pulling my leg." And I said, "I might be pulling something. I don't know what I'm pulling, but yeah, I'm just joking with you, man." So I went into the women's bathroom. And he goes, "Wait." And I shut the door and I used the women's. "Hey, ladies, your bathroom is a whole bunch nicer than the men's bathrooms. I think I'm going to go into women's bathrooms from now on. I can't get in trouble." So that's what I think I'm going to do. I lost my Facebook feed over here on facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. Anyhow, as that kind of batteries up a little bit, and I went through a lot of battery there real fast because I had the hotspot on, and that's what happens. It doubles up. It doubles up like that when you have the hotspot on. So I just lost that feed. Okay, so alkaline water is really important. Getting rid of meat, getting rid of sugar, getting rid of salt, limiting down to 2,000 milligrams for men, and getting rid of milk products. That's why I'm still living. It's just that simple. That's why I am still living and breathing right here, right now, because I made those adjustments, and that's my testimony. So we have to make changes, and we have to find alternative ways that we can help our health situation out. Since I lost my hotspot, I can't go on my iPad because my iPad is hooked up to my hotspot. Hey, I got Dan the man the package. Hey, Dan, can you find me that Mexican email that you sent me? Because I lost my hotspot. My phone went dead. And if you just that one email, because I'm going to have enough time to talk about that. There's a site we found today, and it's coming out of Mexico, and it's a terrific alternative way to solve, I believe it was cancer. some alternative medicines that might work or might not work. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I can't, I'm not speaking in doctor's terms. I'm speaking in just colloquial, reporting type terms, commentary stuff, just kind of tossing some stuff out at you guys for you guys to go and research on your own. But I think in my testimony, we did a lot of research so that I could get my organs back in good shape, and we did some alternative ideas rather than just taking Western medicine. So according to this one site that we found at cancerresearchawareness.com, cancerresearchawareness.com, how can you survive cancer by going to a Mexican clinic? And I thought it was pretty interesting, and I wanted just to cover a couple of things here and make it just a little bit bigger because I do have glasses. A Mexican cancer clinic saved my life in 2007, according to a lady by the name of Peggy Sue Roberts. She had a 9-year cancer fight, like my friend Archie Bobus, who succumbed to cancer after a 10-year fight. She had stage 4 cancer in her, and she's a survivor. Stage 4, folks. Stage 4 is the worst. When you get stage 4, it's a miracle. Miracles have to happen. She says she lives in Southern California. That doesn't make any difference where she lives. But she's alive today, and she's alive today because she went to this Mexican clinic. She wanted to do something else other than the very poisonous chemotherapy. And we know that, the biopharmaceutical companies created this chemotherapy, and it's very expensive. It does work, but it doesn't work. It usually puts things into it knocks it out for a little while. Yeah, that word just slips me for a second. Anyhow, so what they did is after she got sent home with basically the only alternative was to take chemotherapy, she went online and started doing some research, and she went to a Mexican cancer clinic. And after that, she's still been living for another almost 10 years. And how she survived the cancer, according to her, is, I'm kind of reading and editorializing as I'm going here, how she survived the cancer through natural treatments. She wanted to try that rather than just the chemotherapy. So she had a PET scan, and after she did natural treatments at this Mexican clinic, the PET scan showed that her cancer had really been reduced. It was unbelievable in terms of what had happened to her. And so when she went to the clinic, she learned a couple of things immediately to fight cancer by using natural alternative cancer treatments. If you do two things, according to this lady. And this was on a TV show that William Shatner had hosted about this particular place. She said, you got to get to the clinic in time to be helped, first off. And then you have to do a program of change that changes your life. And there are natural cures for cancer. And as I'm going through this real fast, the Mexican cancer clinics, let me just keep editoring and scanning this real quick. Let's see here. Let's see what they say about that. We had this highlighted earlier in our discussion. All righty. All right, so there are 16 natural treatments that produce hundreds of cancer survivors. So apparently at this Mexican clinic, you can get this story at cancerresearchawareness.com. They've got 16 different combinations of natural products. These are organic food products, plants, and things like that that help cure cancer in many, many, many patients. So, there are alternative ways to solve very disastrous and dangerous problems that could end your life. Of course, I always say you consult with your doctor on this, and I'm not a doctor, but it's always good to check around for other ways to kind of solve your problem so that you might be able to live a life without chemotherapy, perhaps, or perhaps a life that you don't have as much to do with ingesting that very toxic substance of drugs in that respect. And there's one more thing about this article that I thought was pretty interesting, and I'm just looking it up here. If I can find it on the fly, I might not be able to find it here. Let's see. Okay. Nope, I'm not going to be able to find it right now at this moment. So go to the cancerresearchawareness.com website, and this will give you a possibility that perhaps you didn't think of before. All I'm saying is the important thing is never give up. Keep striving to find an answer to your problem and the problems that you have. Unfortunately, there were 3 or 4 other things I wanted to talk about here, but I can't access them at this point. But remember, always remember, that part of the struggle of surviving and part of the struggle of getting well is not only just listening to your doctor and taking that information in, that's very important, but also educating yourself about herbal remedies. Look at ancient Chinese medicine. Look at some of the ancient medicines that our Native Americans were using. Look at some of the ancient medicines that are coming out of South America and Central America, because this is where all of our plant life and all medicines come from plants. All medicines derive, the basics of medicines derive from plants and plant life. And now of course, they change it chemically, they mix it with other things chemically, and they create new types of medicines from that. But the essence of all medicine comes from earth, comes out of the ground, either in plant life or water or all kinds of different things that provide us to get well. Unfortunately, as we talked about earlier in the week or last week, the rainforests of the world are being destroyed. And there are so many cures that are being destroyed because of the rainforest being destroyed. And a lot of people are saying that those rainforests are being destroyed because of the biopharmaceutical companies, that big pharma doesn't want those cures. And if you're cynical and you have a pessimistic viewpoint, that may make sense. To me, there's some truth in that, because there's no money in healthy people. My hospital bill, when I left the hospital, I spent almost 4 weeks, about 4 weeks in the hospital. My hospital bill was $550,000. What if I didn't have insurance? I still had to pay a considerable amount towards that insurance policy. But my hospital bill was $550,000. Now, if you multiply that by all the folks who are in the hospitals today and are going through only Western medicine and not getting well, and you multiply that by our society that is really obese and overweight and unhealthy, if you multiply that by the GMO and the terrible foods that we have with no nutrient value in it, if you multiply that by the bad water that we drink, if you multiply that by the stressful lifestyles we live, if you multiply that by the toxicity that we take in with liquor and drugs and sodas and sugar, you can see why pharma, big pharma, has one of the largest lobbies in Washington, D.C. Which, of course, if you look at the donations to Hillary Clinton's campaign, massive amounts of millions and millions of dollars come from big pharma. Gotta say something. If it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck, it ain't a giraffe. So it makes sense when people say that the rainforests are being destroyed because there's no money in having a healthy world. I could dig that. I can accept that. That's pretty good logic to me. That's common sense. Not to say that big medicine doesn't help. Absolutely it does, and we need to have it. I mean, we really do. But I think you have to weigh stuff. You have to weigh stuff on a scale of, how much of this am I going to take versus how much of this am I going to take? Don't placate and throw away organic medicine, natural remedies, and natural medicine. You have to qualify that stuff that you read on the internet, absolutely, with quality chemists. There was a doctor that he lived in Los Angeles for a number of years. He is a Nigerian man. He's not a doctor in the United States of America, but he's probably one of the world's most foremost botanists and one of the world's most foremost organic doctors. His name was Dr. Seti. And Dr. Seti created this formula, and he's provided that to diabetic patients, cancer patients, AIDS patients, patients that are obese, high cholesterol patients. And this formula has rid them and cured them. In fact, the United States government, Big Pharma, tried to sue him about this formula, saying it was a false, it was a fake, he was a liar, he was a storyteller. This was nothing more than fancy selling and good marketing. And he provided all the science. And then he rolled in patient after patient after patient after patient. I mean, we were talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of witnesses that had their full medical reports prior to coming to him, and then went back to their doctors after coming to him and got medical reports from the same doctors. Unbelievable. Doctors came in and qualified these medical reports. And he did beat. He beat the Federal Drug Administration, which controls our food and our drugs. Food and Drug Administration. Can you imagine that? Food and drugs in the same department? Go figure that one. Food and drugs. Right there. Just one-on-one. Connect the dots. Food and drugs. Drugs and food together. Connect the dots. See, nothing happens per chance. If you just open your eyes and you look, you can see the quinkadinks, the coincidences. You can see the dots connect themselves. We're just not taught to do that. I've always been a questioner my whole life. When someone says, do that, I say, why? When someone says, go take care of that business, I say, why should I? What's that about? Where, when, how, who, what? I've lost many a jobs asking the why question. Called me the why boy for a while. Why? Why? What's in it for me? Why? Right. They don't like those kind of questions. People don't like those questions in that respect. But when you start doing it, you talk about your health, you have to ask these questions. You have to, especially when you start looking at other alternative methods. So I just wanted to chat a little bit about that and talk a little bit about that and just hopefully give you my testimony today and say that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is hope and desire. You have to have a desire to live and a hope to fight and a hope that you can fight and a will to never quit and to stand up and say, I'm not going to go out on my back. I'm going to go out walking out. And when you have that kind of will and you have that kind of thought process, that's the first step to healing yourself in any way you can and making yourself happy. Where there is a will, there's a way. Where there is a way and there's no will, a way will never happen. The will creates everything. The will to live, the will to get up, the will to stand up, the will to, when you get knocked down, to stand up again and say, is that the best you got? And get knocked down again and stand up again and knock down again. You can never quit and you can never stop. And part of that, I believe, when you start talking about health, is you have to change the paradigm of what brought you to the unhealthy or the less healthy position you're in, and what your expectations of what you feel and what you desire your health to be. You must change the past and change that paradigm. Otherwise, you're just going to get the same SOS, the same old, same old. All right, so and start looking into natural remedies. As I said, Western medicine is starting to do that. Acupuncture, qi, energy. You saw on all the sports athletes at the Olympics, the American sports athletes, cupping to take the toxicity out of the muscle strains and the muscle tightness and the muscle soreness, to take that acid buildup, that acidic buildup that gets into your muscles after they're exhausted, tired, and you have to turn around quickly and do it again. So you saw that right there on a worldwide TV. You saw some of the athletes had this tape. It's called kinesio tape, and that was from the previous Olympics. I used a lot of that kinesio tape 5 years ago, and my kids use that kinesio tape because they're both athletes. It's wonders what it does. Just wonder. I came out of Japan, and a healing process in Japan that was totally natural. So there are alternative ways, and seek them out, but don't ever do anything without at least talking to your doctor first, because that's very important as well. But have some common sense when you do talk to your doctor. Have some common sense. Okay, so what we got coming up now, in about an hour, we're going to be broadcasting live on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. We're going to be out at Goo Goo, the world's greatest finger paint artist, at 1399 Factory Place in downtown Los Angeles, the Arts District. We've got a red carpet we're bringing in there. I understand that Michael Bay, the great director of the Transformer movies, is going to be there. It's supposed to be a big crowd, 200-300 people. We'll see. We never know what you walk into when you do a red carpet, who's going to be there or who's not. But it's supposed to be an A-lister, big-time event, and they asked me to come out and do the red carpet and be on the red carpet and broadcast live. So we'll be doing that here on the Jesse T Show, the fabulous Jesse T Show tonight. Dan the Man the Package is going to be in the house, and we're going to be having a great time taking pictures and posting up and interviewing all the stars and the VIPs and the celebrities and whoever shows up. Heck, I'll interview Michael Bay, and I'll interview the janitor cleaning up the place. But we'll have a good time and a fun time. So we want you to watch that here on ABTV Live in the Digital Broadcasting Network at Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. Then it radiates out to Instagram, Snapchat, radiates out to YouTube live stream, and all the other places that we go to. It's going to be a good show. Then Saturday, we're going to be out at the Burbank Film Festival for a couple of red carpets we're lining up. So a lot of new films, a lot of great stars. On Sunday, we're going to be out at the Burbank Film Festival broadcasting live as well, too. And if we can fit in on Saturday, there's a terrific retirement party for one of Los Angeles' best radio personalities and DJs, Paul Freeman, who was on the air consecutive about 35 years here in Los Angeles, never off the air once. Unbelievable. And a memorial for one of the greatest disc jockeys ever to stand behind the mic in the United States of America, and for that matter, the world, Charlie Tuna. So we're going to try to get out to that little party there on Saturday, kind of put a face behind some of those voices here in Los Angeles that you may have listened to over the years. So anyway, this is the Jesse T Show. Remember, Monday through Friday, live at 5. As you enter the world of Terrero, it's straight on the point. The Brown Beauty, that's me, and I'm always on duty next to my destination at the Arts District in Los Angeles. About 1 hour from now, we'll be back up and rolling. So I'm not going to send myself off duty right now. We're jumping in the Gray Ghost and we're going. But I will say this. Thank you for watching us all week, and thank you for listening to us on thepowerofvoices.com. But I got to say, the Brown Beauty is still on duty. See ya, bam!